Minister of Basic Education, Mrs. Angie Mutseha, the Chief Director of the Ekurhuleni Region, Ntate Tau, the Acting Director, Mr. Steve Mabua, officials from the Department of Basic Education, the SGB of Abram Hlophe, the principal and members of the SMT from Abram Hlophe, members of school governing body associations present, and those watching us live, learners, good morning. Today is the 1st of March. We're marking the first day of the 2021 SGB elections. This is a process that we do every 3 years where we elect new members of the SGB. Normally, the minister will be all over the country thanking the outgoing SGB for the stunning work that they have done for the past 3 years, and also encourage other members to join SGBs as we support learning and teaching in our schools. For reasons known to everyone, this is the best that we could do to meet in this fashion and still allow the minister to address the nation and tell us more about the 2021 SGB election. Minister, you are addressing not only the few people that are in the hall, you are actually addressing the whole country. I'm told we also have media from overseas, so we are actually live addressing the whole world. In this part of the country, minister is known as Umam Enji. Can I invite Umam Enji to address the nation? Thank you very much.
The Program Director, let me start off by acknowledging the leadership of the school, the teachers, SMT, the parents, and the learner. Also acknowledge Chief Director Tau and the entire provincial leadership that you brought with you. Acknowledge the parents as body that is here, but more important also the leadership of the school governing bodies, but also principals from neighboring schools. Thank you very much for the solidarity and the partnership that we see now between our schools, our primary schools and our high schools. I just spoke to the principal. I still call it Ntombi. I was asking myself when I wanted to say, what is Ntombi when there are even boys in the school? So when I drove past your school, I was asking myself today, I wonder about how are they? And I'm very proud that you say you performed so well under COVID-19. And congratulations, and thank you very much for a great job. Yes, indeed, there are two things that we are here about. First, let me refer to the school governing body elections and take this opportunity that Matakane and the president or the chairperson of the school governing body. Because if it was not about you, if we didn't get your support, it was going to be very difficult to save the year of 2020. The parents worked very hard to support us. It was not easy. It was difficult. They came to the party. They helped us clean schools because it was just quite difficult. Schools had been neglected for more than a term. They were in a very bad state. And most parents organized themselves to come and really give support to the school and to the sector. So thank you very much for your guidance, for your counsel, and for your support. Also because it was a very difficult time when we were dealing with things that we really were not familiar with. They came to support us even in terms of really engaging on the safety of learners, safety of teachers, and safety of our workers in schools. So I want to express our gratitude. And it was during COVID-19 where I really, really felt the power and the support of governing bodies more than I had ever experienced before. When people were blocking us from opening schools, and parents said, it's our children. We're going to work with the department to make sure that our children are safe. And governing bodies from all sectors and from all spectrums came forward and assisted us. When we couldn't get masks in some instances, parents bought masks for their kids. And we know they did not necessarily have money, but they just made sure that the year is saved. And I think we are eternally grateful for that. But it's also an important day, as the chairperson is saying, that it's the first day of the elections of school governing bodies. And we're really asking parents to come forward. Sometimes parents don't know how valuable they are in the lives of their children. They don't know how encouraged and motivated when we see them around. And I think even their children, when their parents show interest, they take their schooling very seriously. So we do want parents to continue to work with us, to continue to support our schools, to continue to, when we are really not doing well, they must be able to say to us, principal, khona ubunzima la." It's not an easy relationship. I'm sometimes glad that I don't work in the province. I have an experience. It's not sometimes a very easy relationship. Others still phone me to say, and sometimes not even parents in the school, that they are here in the school to do oversight about vuleli. But schools can be centers, a tourism center. Omunye might get to washing, we monitor. So fanti siqale phansi sanitize, screen, and more monitor senzani ngawo mase sibhizi sisebenza ki right. Kusemsebenzini futhi lapha ngithi. Fanti through chairperson or through governing body, which speaks to the principal and arrange, but you can't just wake up in the morning, washing, let's go and monitor. I was monitor is a report and at the time we monitor, what are you expecting us to do? So we need parents ready to support us in many instances so that if committees want to interact with us, they come through the school governing body. And I'm glad that the leadership is here from national, because we also need lots of support, training also for our school governing bodies so that there's harmony all the time, because it's a very important relationship. It's really like a mother and father raising a child. So we need each other, we need to support each other. So I'm really looking forward to most of our communities availing themselves to join us to raise our children. Because sometimes when parents don't come to schools, I just feel when they ba kena poning ba o sie le bana ipotsa re bana go thweketseng ka bana ba ke le mong. So batswadi ba sa tle sometimes ke a feel gore ba kene poning batho ba re se le mathata jano. But if they're present, we don't want much, we want your presence. Angithi hlobo sami. Noba babe ngasebenzi mayikhona nje kuba nesithunzi sendawo. Sifuna nje babe khona, sibonisane, sibambisane ngokukhulisa abantwana. So I'm really want to take this opportunity to appeal to our parents wherever they are to avail themselves. To be elected in SGBs, but to also avail themselves to help us run schools. We're speaking with Tate Dao to say January, February, March, it's a difficult period if you are in education. Baba ba patala di fees ba phone no re ya. Ba hana ka report ba hana ka card ha ke a patala. Ha botsa re sa patala ha hona le COVID mos. Ke re mare o mistress o gotse mos. Patala sekolo ke re le dumelane. Ora ka COVID ke re le ka COVID patala ke re tshwantse if it's a fee paying school patala hle motho wa modimo. No more he ba re charge ba re batla tšhelete ya polish ke ra otle ba batla bokae a re utse re ntshe di 20 rands ke ra ke re wa e reka 2 liter ha nngwe fela ka selemo sa batla ntsha 20 rand ya polish a re tshwarisaneng hle. So even those things, because those are decisions of governing bodies, I can't sit here from Pretoria Kere, no, the principal is wrong, he can't charge you 20 rands. If the governing body has agreed, or this is what they want to do for their schools, that's what we want. I had good news here, for instance, that the governing body is planning this, the governing body is, and that's what we want, because sometimes the resources we give schools are not adequate, we can't lie to say we're giving schools everything. So where possible, we want parents to assist us, to assist schools with their presence, but with whatever they can do. Sometimes kamats all fail. Akabazi nje bo baba bazopenda nje. Yazi kube mnandi kube dilitsimo. So I'm very glad that we're at the school principal, they are hosting us, we're launching the school governing body. But the other thing that we're here for, which also is very close to my heart because it's an ongoing struggle about school uniforms, that we are going to sign today with the Competition Commission. And I think anybody who comes from a poor background, like ourselves or from a township, will tell you the value of school uniform. So every year I have to be answering principal questions, people saying, no, away with school uniform. Our school uniform, these kids have to come dressed. So if you say no school uniform, what should be in the place of school uniform? Because home clothes are a big problem because they are a social indicator. So immediately you remove school uniform, you're going to really begin to show our kids amongst themselves who comes from a rich family, who has people who can buy them designer, and these people are growing. You know, young people are very sensitive. So if they don't have designer clothes, it embarrasses them. When we're dealing with learner dropout, for instance, principal, one of the reasons that learners at high school after 16 drop out, they cite poverty. And it's not as if we charge them fees, so there's no fees, there's feeding, we give them fruit books. It's when these children become conscious of themselves, they don't want to be seen in torn clothes. They don't want to be seen in broken shoes. They don't want to be seen in shirts which are broken. So they don't come to school, they just drop out. They just feel too empty. It's that stage. Because they're becoming conscious of themselves, they're becoming conscious of the environment, and anything is just big. Horana dieta, it's big. I want to worry. Dieta totally take it next time as a hoodie. It's big. Because it impacts on their image. So school uniforms help us as an equalizer. More than anything. It's an equalizer. I'm a very gray. I don't know gray. I don't know there's no issue inferiority complex which is going to come in. But even for us as a school, this is, the principal tells me that there are almost 1,900 kids. So it just cannot work. So it helps us also to identify then you can be able to say to principal Katlehong, can't do it because 11 o'clock. So it helps us also in terms of identifying learners, in terms of really managing their movements. But for me, more important, it's to equalize abatwana. Young parents fight with me again. Must fall because this hell you need to it's a matata. So they won't even need blessers about kuta, but need nix. Kenya Harry, who came kama au. On until baby matata by it's a Vaseline Baba Bad. Madras about Kenya, these young parents are equalize the playing fields, man. But there is one come can't any kids if I hammers fall, not over right, come. I was looking at total function because Liharmos and Khatas. But young parents were Hannah here, a hammers fall, but it's one of those things that I really think are important to really make our children comfortable in their spaces. They look the same, we're able to manage movement here, but we're also able to manage their ego, which is very important. For teenagers, it is very, very, even for young kids. Now, how hloka o na le bomme ba bohale ba sa batleng ditite ba re hae nna ke ruta bana ba sekolo nna my father never used to want to buy us ditlhako tsa go kgaba a re ke hudisa dikgarebe mo ke hudisa bana ba sekolo so ba tla dieta tshwanetse mo rope ka dieta tsa kgale re di beile re di patile and then say papa ditlhako di fedile ke ona tla ntsha tšhelete and then ke mo tla ile ithekelanyana dipatanyana and then those are the things we had to do because even parents must be able to perform on their kids. So we have invited you, I think it's the right people, the parents in particular. How old can you be? Because we're going to be, we're really very grateful that you are here to support us, to work with us, to make sure that we can get parents, because sometimes parents in our African community, black communities, sometimes they don't play ball handle. They don't come when we elect them. There are lots of things that can go wrong. But if they come forward, I promise you, they may not know we appreciate and value their participation, their contribution. Sometimes when people stay together, you don't always agree. There are times where you disagree, and it's those disagreements which strengthen the relationship sometimes because people are able to point at things that you had a blind spot on, you were not aware of. So we appreciate. So, but we are in a very difficult space now. Very difficult space with COVID-19. It's a very difficult space. This thing is disorganizing us in a big way. The fact that we are not able to have learners every day at school is a major curriculum problem. It's a major problem. I have a hobby or a habit when I drive around and see small kids. Why will you move at 11? So can I get the shift? Or shift among chaos. I can get the shift. Or shift so but what the shift over the shift. So it's a major problem. And for that we need communities to hold hands with us. Because these are growing people. They are young and restless. When they are not at school, idling hands, we have to keep them engaged. Because their parents have gone to work. Even if their parents are not going to work, they must be able to socialize. They can't sit in the house with us. Even if you're not working, you don't expect kids to be sitting with us watching TV the whole day. So which means we have to find ways of keeping them engaged. So I'm appealing to committees to support us in these very difficult times. It's really difficult. That's why I'm really proud, Principal. That we can really hit a 90 COVID-19, which means that's a bit. It's tough. Hurov. My grade 12 at this year, a kene sekolo for less than 6 months. Ba kgutlile ka June, ha ba kgutla ka June, ba shapa ka di-shift. So which means schools are starting from 2020 before they can even deal with 2021. It's a problem. We have challenges in the sector around reading competencies as a country. So re shapa ka di-shift a ke tsebe gore re kgutlela morao le re epe re kgutlela morao because o shapwa di-shift which means re sebetsa half time. Gore bona ba bala half time but the teachers are not working half time. Actually teachers are more stressed because they really have to be repeating the same thing with different groups. Ntho e buileng ditshuku e bua le ba bang kaosane ke tlhakantsuku fela. And to be able to manage the challenges of COVID-19, we need everybody to assist us. We need young people like yourself, member SGB, to encourage reading clubs. So that Habali High, they must at least read Lali Ebuka when they're not at school. We want them to be active in sports, non-contact sports, non-contact sports. We want them to be involved in so many other extramural activities that we were unable to do when they were at school full-time. And those can come from communities when they work with us. You can run debating clubs, you can run speaking, poetry programs, just to keep them engaged and also to keep them, to make sure that we use the time that is here, because COVID-19 is already creating lots of problems and lots of difficulties. And happened that tourism, they must work through the governing body. Minister, principal, appointment. And the principal wanted an appointment. Principal that I'm serving with I am about oversight. Basa through school governing body. People must assist us. COVID-19 So if we have to keep our schools safe, we have to minimize people who come into our schools. That's a sanitize it's temperature. How can you hanyane fela mhlomo re qete ntwe re etsang ho se ka tshakua mtshare mo because it's a maiswa ke batho ntwe. And aba it's a maisitse it's lots of people. The principal was telling me that they had one incident of a teacher who became positive. The school had to close for 14 days. Imagine 14 days in the environment, you had the shift. It just throws us completely off and makes our life difficult. So let me take this opportunity to thank first that we have this partnership about school uniforms. I'm very passionate about school uniforms, very passionate about them. I'm an advocate for school uniforms. I think they're very important, they're very necessary. And it's uniforms of pride. So I said about Arabata, come Monday, but Saturday, but Sunday, more batle, by Hemas fall, but Kensile Harry Hlohong, but very uniforms abona Batswana. On the other hand, I'm also very glad that we are launching. It's one of the most important components in our work, the elections of school governing bodies. So I'm glad that the leadership is here. We're launching your presence. I assume that it's the support that you really are committing yourselves as the National School Body Associations to us as a sector, to work with us as a sector to make sure that we can get this process going well because we need you. You must be here all the time. I'll see Baruna Relibang.
Thank you very much, Minister. You managed to kill two birds with one stone, that of launching the SGB elections. We can confidently say now, let the elections begin. And thank you very much again for emphasizing the needs of school uniform. Let's appreciate the partnership with the Competition Commission, because we need them in order to assist us to reduce the price of school uniform. It is their mandate to deal with uncompetitive behavior, which makes the price of school uniform escalate. Now, the signing of the agreement with the Competition Commission, with SGB associations, all of them nationally, is going to ensure that our SGBs guard against those uncompetitive behavior, which makes uniform unaffordable for parents. Now that we're ready to start with the SGB elections, it will start from today until the 30th of April, and from the 1st of of May, we'll be having new SGBs in the country. And we encourage all schools to ensure that these elections do take place. Minister, you shouldn't worry much about the presence of the national office on the ground. This Saturday, I spent the whole afternoon in this area, talking to parents in the area in Katlohong, together with the principal. I also call him Principal of Ntombizoto. So we managed to meet principals, and we've been doing that every Saturday, especially with the assistance of SGB associations. So our parents are ready, our schools are ready. I don't know, Mr. Mhlanga, if you have streamed questions online, we should just close it that way. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending, and thank you, Minister. May we adjourn this session. Thank you. Oh, something else before we adjourn.
Director, ladies and gentlemen, ke le hlomphile ketelong pele ya lona kaofela lefapheng la tsa thuto ka go fapana ha tsona. Minister Angie, this is a token of appreciation from Abram Hlophe. We would like to thank you for capacity building and ensuring that you empower us enough for us to know exactly what needs to be done for us to have a great partnership with parents. May God richly bless you as you forge forward and journey to making the education of the South African kids the better one. Thank you.
Yes, you can come back.
Greetings to all. My name is Ranzum Vuleni. I'm here to present a speech. The title of the speech is Halala Empowerment. Thank you for the 43 schools that are built in Gauteng. We are truly grateful for putting our well-being as us learners. At first, I will always refer to you as Minister of Education. But after going back and do a background check and the way you have behaved on the school reopening, that has made me to change the title of referring to you as MECs, but to refer to you as parents of the nation. Thank you for building our school. Thank you to Mr. Panyaza and Mama Angie for renovating our school. We also promise to give the best. I'm sure the teachers will groove the future parliament members and the future presidents, engineers, IT specialists will come from Abram Hlophe Primary School. Thank you, Lord, you have answered. Thank you, government of built our school. Thank you, parents who have persevered. Perseverance is the matter of success. #Abram Hlophe Siyafunda. Thank you.
Minister, are these not moments of pride? And I thought I can't just let you go without responding to this legal one. Please.
Program Director. There isn't much to say, Mwana, except for thanking you very much. You represented your school very well, but you also give us great hope for the future. When we see our kids growing to be the best that they can be, there's nothing that gives us more joy than that. I give your parents, you are everything to them. But as a nation, our children are everything to the nation. You are the future. You really, it's when your kids have succeeded. So to see you representing your school so well, committing to a bright future, it humbles us, it heartens, it makes our hearts so, because you represent the future.
Thank you very much, Minister, for allowing me to bulldoze you. I thought it was a very important occasion. This day will go a long way in this child's life. As she grows up, she'll remember this moment that the minister was addressing me directly. So it's very important that we do that. She is our employer. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, may I adjourn this session because the minister has other commitments. Thank you very much.